Then moving on to our next speaker tonight, Jort Statema. Jort Statema is a political scientist who ended up in the startup scene by coincidence. After researching the Arab Spring for his master's, he ended up in Myanmar, launching an online job portal. And after almost 2 years of working in Southeast Asia, he started working for Tilt, a mobile and social crowdfunding platform, which is now launching in the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, Jort Statema on collective creation.
I believe we're at the start of a multi-decade transformation towards a sharing economy that will forever change the lives we live and the way we impact the world around us. Soon enough, we will be making the impossible possible through collective action and creation that will happen outside the traditional institutions and frameworks we know now. And let's say 20 years from now, I am sure we will look fundamentally different to concepts like economics and politics. I am convinced that in these 20 years from now, it will not be supply determining demand, but it will be demand itself that will determine supply. Now, before I get back to this, let me take you back to December 2010, when a Tunisian street vendor called Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire and ignited an unprecedented gulf of protests in the Arab world that we now call the Arab Spring. Now, many of you will tell me that the Arab Spring cannot be called a success in, let's say, the economic or political sense of the word. But to me, the Arab Spring was not only about that. To me, the Arab Spring was about millions of people coming together, deciding to act against regimes that had sometimes been in power for over 30 years, dictatorial regimes. For me, the Arab Spring was about change, about belief, and about a mindset that it was the time that everyone now stood up and do the things they want to do. Not the things someone told them to do, or the government told them to do. I mean, let's take Egypt. Why did all these people end up in Tahrir Square? It was certainly not because the government told them to go to Tahrir Square. No, these people ended up at Tahrir Square because their friends were there. Their family was there. And other like-minded individuals were there, all sharing the same belief and having this desire for change. Now that is interesting, because how did that happen? As I told you before, some of these regimes have been repressing populations for over 30 years. So how did that happen? It's a difficult question. It's not easy to answer, but one factor that certainly played a role was that mobilization happened outside the traditional channels. Facebook. Facebook all of a sudden became a tool for mobilization. I mean, in Egypt they said, like, we created a Facebook page. An anonymous administrator started to invite people, asking them to join, but without a specific goal or without a specific reason, just sharing the same belief. And all of a sudden, 3 days later, 10,000s of people on Tahrir Square saying enough is enough. Now that's interesting, because I'm sure you all agree with me that version 1 of Facebook was nothing more than you liking the photos of your friends and possibly make a small comment. And now all of a sudden, version 5 of that same Facebook is a tool for political mobilization. I believe that these technological advancements will continue to increase our ability to share anything with anyone. Also, and maybe in particular, in the case of money. Crowdfunding, or whatever we will call that in the future, is putting a collective wallet within everyone's reach. Whether that is for the seemingly trivial or the powerfully consequential. What do I mean with that? I mean, this technology is putting a shared wallet, or a collective wallet, inside your pocket to make things happen in just a few clicks. From the seemingly trivial, let's say you want to share the cost of your Friday night beers with your friends, or the powerfully consequential, raising funds to be able to set up a mobile clinic on the Greek islands to support and help the refugees, all in that same wallet, on your mobile phone. Now, we're just at the beginning of what this technology can offer. I would say we're probably at version 1 of version 2. Because in the end, I am sure that this technology will happen on your phone like a mobile feed. A mobile feed for ideas, causes, or products. A mobile feed that will give you ideas in which you can decide to create anything you want. Version 5 of that technology will allow you to collectively power the creation of the world. Simply from your mobile phone. Now, I can imagine this might be a little hard to take in. It's a lot of information, pretty condensed. But let's try to visualize what it means to have this collective wallet in the form of your mobile phone in your pocket. To create things with just a few simple clicks. Let's try to envision that. John Lennon, in his famous song, said, let's imagine there's no countries. He said it isn't hard to do. So let's try to envision that. Envision a world where indeed there are no boundaries, where we ourselves decide what happens around us. Or let's go back to the Arab Spring, to these millions of people looking for change, demanding change. And now imagine these people not only share the same idea, but they also share this collective wallet. What would they have done? Personally, I don't know. And I think that's also the beauty of it. I don't know, but I do know that the possibilities are endless. Or, to again refer to John Lennon, take a step back and imagine all the people sharing all the world. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jort Statema.